Good morning, League fans. It is Thursday, January 9, and I'm coming to you. My name's Steve Mascord. I'm in Harrogate. Seemed like a good idea to come here. It's been a little while since I've been here, just north of Leeds. And I thought I had a couple of days to kill because I was going to be calling the pre-season game between Cass and Sheffield at Featherstone on Friday. But guess what? The game's off because of the snow, and my hotel was non-refundable, so I'm here anyway. Ploughing through the work, bringing the content to you. Don't forget to follow us at on X at rugbyleague.com, on Instagram at rugbyleague.com, dot spelled out, and /rugbyleague.com on Facebook. And what was I doing in Leeds? Earlier in the day, I was at the Leeds Media Day, which was, it was a little bit different. It was a team photo taken out in the middle of the field. My first team photo I've attended with the snow in the background. That was pretty cool. And then a few players, you just sort of requested some players, and I wasn't on the list. So I just basically, put myself down for players who didn't have a lot of other requests, just to make things easy. So I spoke to Keenan Palsia, who's one of the new signings. I spoke to James Bentley. First time I've spoken to him, the Irish international. Also James McDonnell, the fellow Irish international. And finally, Sam LIsone. They were really interesting. There's some good stuff there. And after this break, you'll be able to hear from all four of them. And if there's time at the end, we might even put in another Wigan player that we didn't have time for yesterday. In the news today, big story, Jordan Abdul. He for Aussie listeners, you may not know who he is, but he's played for England and he signed for Hull FC this year, and he has parted company with them before a ball is kicked this season. Not sure about the reasons for that, but there's a fair bit of surprise about that, as you would imagine. Maybe we'll find out more about that today. How about our birthdays today? There's some great names, birthdays for January 9 in rugby league. And one guy who's, his name's not great at the moment. He's in the news at the moment. One of my favourite players from back in the day. And it's very sad to read here at Rugby League Project. I wasn't aware that he's no longer with us. Con Demos, great hooker. Played lower grades at the Steelers. Played country first, Illawarra, represented Illawarra. Country first a couple of times. Born in 1958. And very sadly, I didn't know, died in 2012. So there you go, Con Demos. Corey Pearson, the prop forward, had a great career, Balmain, St George Illawarra, West Tigers, and Parramatta. He's 52 today. John Buttigieg, great player for the Cowboys, 48 today. He's a fair bit younger than me, isn't he? And another one of my favourites from down the gong, and a guy who also served at the NRL in the back office with distinction, Luke Patton, 45 today. Again, 10 years younger than me. Almost 11 years younger than me, Luke Patton. I had no idea. Let's go down some of these names. Chris Sando played for the PMs 13, of course. Souths, Parramatta, Warrington. He is 36 today. He's 36. Kane Evans, the towering Fijian international. He is 33. Braden Hamlin-Ueli, represented both New Zealand and Samoa. He's 30 today. And there's one other name here that I have to mention because he's in the news at the moment, Kevin Appo, the British government, seeking his extradition from Papua New Guinea after he was charged with rape and sexual assault. And the Papua New Guinea government have come out very strongly, publicly saying that he must be apprehended. So that's today's birthdays, that's today's news, that's the little scene setter here from snowbound north of England. It's actually nice and pretty. I'm looking forward to the view from my hotel window here in the morning because it was pretty nice as the sun was going down. But after the break, you're going to hear from 4 Leeds players, and if there's time before the end of the hour, maybe a Wigan player or two, or if not, in the days ahead. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. If it's morning in Sydney or indeed Brisbane or wherever else you might be listening, or indeed in the Northern Hemisphere. Stay cool if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and try to warm up if you're in the North. So we're back, and this time we are at Leeds at the Media Day, and I've got Keenan Palsia here from Leeds Rhinos, new signing, team photo in the snow. That's a new experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was trying to rush through it like I was in charge, but I was just out there freezing, so had to get that done, and now now I'll just be hanging around the heaters inside.
Now, you were just here, like not many people from the, Southern Hemisphere get to experience both ends of an English winter. You were here for the start of it and here for the end of it. Yeah. So what was the background to your signing here, mate? Did that happen during the tour? By the way, listeners, he played for Samoa in the Test Series last year. I'm
pretty sure I had already signed by the time I'd gone on the tour against England. But yeah, there was Brad. I spoke to Brad before I signed, and we were back and forth a few times, and then I just decided that I always wanted to come over and play in the Super League at some point in my career, and I decided that this must be a sign and that this is the right time. I wanted to be able to contribute to a team while I'm still in somewhat of my peak. So rather than wait to the end of my career when I can't really contribute much to a team. So when the opportunity arose and I spoke to Brad about it, he kind of sold it to me and I was ready to come over. So now I'm here and all in.
Why the interest? Because not everyone back in Australia and New Zealand are interested in playing here. Why you?
I'm just completely out of my comfort zone and a completely new experience. Like I always try and stay out of my comfort zone and try new stuff. And I never really saw myself playing in the NRL before I had debuted, but then I got there. And so I was just grateful to that. I even got to play one game, let alone however many I did play. So then now that's kind of ticked off. Now I'm able to kind of chase another dream, which is play in the Super League and hopefully win the premiership.
How do you look back on the Test series? It was almost the same scoreline. I think a missed goal was the only difference in both Tests. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of a development squad a little bit for Samoa, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We did have a fair few boys out. But I think in saying that, we're able to field a decent team together with a lot of our main players out. So I think we got called the D team for Samoa. But I think we take it as a positive. We have a lot more younger players that are willing to represent Samoa rather than representing their birth country over their heritage. So we take that as a plus.
What are your impressions of here? It's a bit like, to me, it's a bit like an Aussie one team, one town situation, like a Newcastle, even a Brisbane, isn't it? Where a lot of the other clubs here are kind of on the outskirts of towns, aren't they? So there's a lot of focus and I guess a lot of pressure comes with that at Leeds.
Yeah. Well, before I'd signed, I'd heard about how how close the clubs all are, but then again how big the rivalries are as well. So coming to a team like Leeds, which has got so much history and are known for winning. So hopefully I can come here and contribute to that, and we can win some games.
What are pre-seasons like under BA?
They're tough. They're all pre-seasons are tough, no matter who it is. But I'm not sure what other teams are doing, but I will be surprised if all teams are working harder than us. So I think that's a credit to Brad and also a credit to the boys that we're all just buying in and putting our best foot forward, and we're just trying to improve. And hopefully that translates into our first game against Wakey.
Okay, and finally, look, after the tour last year, you focused on the World Cup as well. You're excited about the possibility of playing in the World Cup and, I guess, Pacific Championships at the end of this year as well.
To be honest, I'm not thinking about playing for Samoa at all yet. I think that's something I need to focus on at the end of the season. I think we've got a big job ahead of us for Leeds Rhinos. I didn't come over to England to play for Samoa. I came over to England to play for Leeds. So that's what I'm here to do, and hopefully we can kind of turn this competition on its head and win a bunch of games.
Okay, we've got James Bentley here from Leeds Rhinos. It's very early in the year for a team photo. I don't think I'm Aussie. I haven't seen a team photo in the snow before, but you're probably used to that, are you?
No, first one I've done in the snow. It's normally freezing like that outside, but first one in the snow.
And it is an early start to the year, isn't it? What's it like pre-season under BA? Is he a hard taskmaster?
Yeah, he's definitely our taskmaster, but he keeps it clear what he wants from you. It's and you know where you stand with him, which is something you like as a player. He's pushing us hard, which I'm enjoying him, pushing himself to a new level.
How do you look back on last season, mate? Obviously, everyone was a bit disappointed with where you finished. What are your own thoughts on what might have gone wrong and what you can improve on as a team?
Yeah, obviously disappointing. We always want to be in them playoffs and finishing there and challenging. Me personally missed a large chunk of the season, obviously with my concussion and that. So just reflecting on that, I just want to stay fit for as much of the years as I can and do what I can for the team when I'm out there.
How does that impact when you do have that long concussion? Thanks for reminding us. When you come back, are you a little bit tentative, or is it frustrating? Do you want to come back earlier? And also, it's a big issue in the game now anyway, so it's a growing issue, isn't it? And you will know guys have had trouble with CTE and stuff like that. So, is there a concern in the back of your mind about the injury from last year, or do you just eager to get back out there and get into it again? How do you feel about it?
Obviously, there's a bit of concern when you've had a few and you're sitting with a consultant and specialist and he's telling you what could happen if you have so many more and blah blah blah. But I feel like I've had a good pre-season, done lots of contact and neck strengthening exercises and all this, and I'm feeling good. I've been getting whacked around loads and I'm feeling good. So I'm feeling conditioned and my body's feeling good. I think the fact we've done so much contact will condition me well for the year as well, and I'm just looking forward to getting back out there and playing. Obviously I got to get a bit of the back end of last year and coming off the bench and filling that role, but I'm looking forward to this year, cementing a spot in the back row and having a big year.
You just made reference to the medical advice. What was the medical advice? The medical advice is don't put your head in the wrong spot, I guess. But so beyond that, what do they say? Do they say that there is a finite number of times you can be concussed? What do they tell you before you went back on the field?
Well, I got the all clear, but it was just an extended period of rest because I've had so many and a couple of bad ones in short succession. So it was just about having a long, extended period of rest. Like any other part of your body, you just got to give it time to heal and recover, and especially because you can't really see it. So it's one of them. So it was just at times it was frustrating because I felt like I'm fit and ready to go now, but I still had weeks and months left to wait. So it was just one of them. We had to just get through it, and we're at the other side now. I'm back playing, so I'm buzzing for the year.
If we can talk about rep footy for a second, the whole Ireland thing is a bit muddled at the moment, isn't it? They lost their membership and they're trying to fight their way back, and there's internal fighting about how many players there are there and how many clubs. I mean, what do you know about the situation in Ireland, and what's your future as far as Ireland is concerned?
Obviously, I nearly ended up playing the end of last year, but I had a few niggles and things in my body, so I opted I needed the rest probably just to make sure I was fit to have a good pre-season under BA. I wanted to have a good year. But obviously there's loads of stuff going on in the back there. I'm not too sure on all that stuff, but we'll just see where they are at the end of the year and then what's going on, and then I'll make a decision then.
Well, it's good that you were going to play last year, if not for injury. So is the core of the last World Cup team still keen?
Yeah, a lot of the boys are still in a group chat and mates with a lot of them, chat and all that, so I think it's just more getting that. I don't really know the ins and outs of what's gone on with the thing, but I know they've lost some. You probably know more than me. I don't. But yeah, so I think it's just all on the board side of things, getting all that sorted. But I think all the boys are keen to rip in.
And finally, just if you can give us an insight into what it's like to be a Leeds player with this is a big city team. It's like I was saying to Keenan, it's like Newcastle Knights, or it's a one-town team. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows you in the street. Number one game in town some months of the year. So does that come with added pressure playing here?
Not really. I think I've played at other teams like Saints and stuff like that, and there's always pressure there to win. I think if you're ever at a big club, there's always going to be pressure. And obviously we've not probably lived up to that in the past few years. Obviously we've got that grand final the first year here, but we should be in finals every year and we should be challenging and competing, so that's always the goal. Yeah, so
the pressure comes from within, really. Yeah,
definitely. I think everyone that's in this team wants to be winning, so we've just got to go out there and do it now.
We've got James McDonnell here now. We're still here at Leeds on a chilly January, what day is it of the week? Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Team photo in the snow we just saw. That's unusual for me. Have you had many team photos in the snow before?
I think it usually works out. This is probably the coldest day of the year. It seems that way for every single year. Yeah, the boys are going out in the big coats and having to take them off for the pictures, but seems to be a bit of a tradition now, yeah.
Now, how's training been under Brad Arthur? He's a pretty tough. The other fellows saying he's a pretty tough taskmaster. Is every preseason pretty much the same from your point of view, or are they all a little bit different?
I wouldn't say it's the same. I think it has probably stepped up a few notches in terms of intensity and workload. I think we're getting an awful lot more conditioning aspects, but also conditioning the body with contact sessions more so. Like we've not really done as much as that in previous pre-seasons, but he's really stepped it up a bit. We're doing a lot of contact work, a lot of the physical work, because we want to be the most physically imposing team, and that's something that we're working towards.
Like has that been kind of the focus since he came in? BA, has that been the focus about being, more physical and harder to wear down?
Just being the most hardworking team and the team that chases the collision the most on attacking defence. I think if you hang your hat on them two things, then you'll not go far wrong. If you can get them basics right, and then you add a little bit of shape and add a bit of structure to the team, when you're building on that platform, you're building well.
We're just talking to James a little bit about two things that also apply to you, which is one is Ireland, and one is just being a Leeds player and kind of the focus on here with it being a big one-town team, and for a lot of months of the year it's a number one sport in this town. What is that like? The fact that everyone knows you, everyone knows what you do, and everyone expects you to be successful. Is that a little bit different to experiences at other clubs? I know you were at Wigan, and there's a lot of expectation there as well.
I think it's pretty similar. I mean, coming from Wigan, it's a massive rugby town. I mean, there's football the same as there is in Leeds, but it is I wouldn't say predominantly rugby, but it's kind of split the same way rugby and football is in this city. So it's kind of a similar feeling in terms of the fans and the atmosphere. But I would say Headingley kind of knocks it up a level in terms of it being a big city, the population and the amount of people we get into the games week in, week out, and the atmosphere they create. But I kind of thrive off it, to be fair. I like it, and you wouldn't walk around the city and get noticed as much as possible, like as much as you'd think. But the occasional time when you meet someone in the supermarket or something, it's a really good, like, encouraging feeling, because you can see it, and then people that it means a lot to them, and this city means a lot, and the team means a lot, and it just gives you a little added motivation, a bit of something to play for, especially when you're seeing them after the games too, and you go around and you meet the fans and the story they've got to tell. It is a little spur of inspiration.
So is that, if there's a theme for this year? Maybe it's a bit early to have a theme, but is that the theme that you mentioned earlier? Is it just working harder than everybody else, or is there something else that's been sort of spoken about over the last few weeks here at training?
We're kind of building a pyramid, really. We're laying the foundation with the chasing the collision, the physicality of the team, and the effort areas, which we're going to start marking a lot more. So we're going to be held accountable on that kind of stuff. So that's the platform, and that's going to be our team identity for this year. And then on top of that, you can start building brick by brick and adding a little thing in week by week. That obviously that depends on who you're playing week to week, the fixtures and all that kind of stuff, and the personnel who's playing that week. But the foundation should never be the foundation should never change, and you should always be able to tell who's a Leeds player, not by the kit they're wearing, but their actions on the pitch.
And this is more something I could do rather than a video or an audio. It's more a written story. But how do you sort of record effort areas, more scientifically, or are they stats? Are they about what you do off the ball? Is it more stats? How are they planning to do that?
It's stats, yeah, and I think this year with fucking who is fucking Sambo? Yeah, but it is stats, mate. It's stuff that we brought in this year. We've always had a little look at them, and it's on the video when they come up. It's people jumping on loose balls after errors and that kind of stuff, but they're just going down as numbers these times. And it's TFEs is a big thing that we've brought in. Language has been a part of that, bringing it in, and that stands for team first effort. So that's stuff you do that maybe the people in the crowd wouldn't notice. It's not scoring tries, it's not setting tries up, it's jumping on loose balls, it's sprinting on a kick chase, that kind of stuff, the stuff that you're doing for the bloke beside you, and not necessarily for the fans in the pits. Like they wouldn't really see it, but it's stuff that makes us different. It's stuff that wins games.
I was going to ask about Ireland, mate. Obviously, there's a bit of chaos there. Things aren't going that great. What's your future there playing for Ireland?
I'm not really clued up on the situation at the minute. There was obviously a friendly organised with Scotland, which the boys won, and it was good to see. And it was good to see some young boys get a chance, get a run out, and get some debuts. But in terms of my inclusion in it, there's not been an awful lot of information put my way, but I do wish them well, and I hope that they can come back to the status they was in when they was playing in the World Cup, because that was an unreal experience for me, and it's not one that I'd close the door on anytime soon. I think I'd still be open to playing for Ireland, because it was a real proud moment.
And we're back. Final guest here at Headingley on a cold January Wednesday, Sam LIsone. Sam, how are you finding the morning? How's the media day? Pretty cruisy, or is it a pain in the backside?
No, it's pretty cruisy. Just coming in, doing interviews, taking headshots in it. Yeah, it's all good. So we're used to it.
It's a very early start, isn't it, with that Boxing Day game? It's really unusual if you come from the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, that's right. I've been here for a couple of seasons now, so yeah, it's all good. You can't have too much Christmas dinner. You just got to get ready to play. No booze.
No booze at all. No booze at all. And what about, what's different about a sort of pre-season with BA? Does he do anything different? Is it very different to previous coaches?
Yeah, but he's got that NRL pre-season mentality where he's just run you to the ground. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah. He just run you to the ground. So it's been good though. He's lifted the standards. He's firm, but he's fair. So which is good.
I guess every year if you don't make the semis or you don't make the grand final, there's a post-mortem and everyone tries to figure out what was missing. Has that happened so much this year, or is it more about focusing on the future? And how do you look back on last season? What was missing? What are your own thoughts on that?
What was missing? I could probably talk on myself. I thought a bit of conditioning. So I really put an emphasis on my conditioning this year. So yeah, overall, to be honest, we just lacked a bit of direction. BA's came in and he's changed things. People, stuff have been put in place. Standards have been lifted. The training standards have lifted, and just what we want from each other. Players are going out there and having a crack. And doing it for the badge, doing it for our fans. We've had a couple of shit years, but yeah. BA's just sort of lifted it all up, and it's on us, what I mean, if we want to change it. So yeah, really excited for the year to kick off.
Are you looking to play more minutes this year, or has that been discussed with BA?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, we've had some chats, which I don't really want to, share, but yeah, I'm just going to get myself mentally and physically fit so I can go whenever or how long he needs me to go.
Yeah.
That's our plan.
Do you like life over here? Is it a place you'd like to stay after you retire, or are you looking forward to getting back? And what are your plans sort of, in the years ahead?
Yeah, I like life here, but I don't think I'd stay here. Obviously, my partner, she plays rugby back home, so I'd love to go back and support her. But yeah, just a small sacrifice we do for each other for hopefully a better future. Yeah, I got one more year, so we'll see how we go. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm just grateful. I had a crack at a great club and met some great people. And
women's rugby league, it's obviously massive, isn't it? I mean, they're going to Vegas, so yeah. You've followed that journey for a while now, I guess, for 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Man, the women's game's growing so big. My missus is going back a month earlier now for pre-season because 2 extra teams have been added on. So, I mean, it's good on them, kudos to them, and hopefully they can go full-time and I can just be a stay-home. Just stay home all day, watch the races. How good would that be? A 4X in the hand. Yeah, like how do you talk footy much at home? I know people ask you that, don't they? But I'm curious. What do you talk footy much?
Nah, not at all. Never. Yeah, she's got a footy head. I like watching footy, but just at training, you know what I mean? When I go home, I don't really like talking or watch anything. She would watch it every day. Like I'm like, man, come on, turn it off.
So we're back at Wigan Media Day. I've got the captain, Liam Farrell, here. Pretty impressive open day. I think it's good for the, as an old journo, it's good for the younger players to see you talking to us and to understand that, that we're not. You don't be so scared of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been there myself, where you never really know what to say, and it's a tough position to be in as a young lad. But I think as they get more experience in doing it, and you see, like you said, see myself and Bevan and Jay, these kind of players doing it, they'll get more confidence off the back of that as well.
I guess it's part of presenting this kind of a confident, professional, friendly club to the world, isn't it? That's the kind of image that you want to project to everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've got to say, I think the credit has to go to Matty for that. I think over the last 3 years he's been very open in terms of letting people into the club and what the kind of access is allowed there, and bringing you all in and letting see what we do on a day-to-day basis is great. And being sat in our team meetings and what we speak about up there is quite a good access for you guys, and hopefully that can keep building on in the future. Now,
tell us, one thing I want to talk about is Vegas. How big does that loom in your mind as we stand here?
Oh, it's there. It's definitely there. I think to take rugby league to Vegas, especially Super League, for us as Wigan and Warrington to go there and 2 points beyond the line in Super League is going to be great, and it's something we're looking forward to as the club. First and foremost, we want to win the game, but I think there's a bigger picture thing as well in terms of we want to grow the game, and hopefully we can make something bigger of it in the future, and it's not just a one-off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be, the baton is supposed to be handed to 2 more clubs next year. Is that disappointing? Perhaps prefer as a knockout, the winner gets to go back next year? Or?
Yeah, hopefully 2 other clubs don't want to go and we could just do it all over again.
Have you been before?
Yeah, I've been a couple of times, obviously for different reasons, but looking forward to going back again and experiencing all the highlights, what there is over there.
As captain, were you involved a bit more than the other players in the decision to go? Did Rads tell you a bit earlier than everybody else, or were you learned with the rest of us?
I had it on my radar a little bit,
yeah.
But I wasn't involved in any decisions, anything like that. The only things I've seen is some of the merchandise, what's going to go on sale, the shirts and stuff. It's very, very exciting for fans and what they're going to be able to maybe purchase from the club and what they're going to take over there. So the club are putting a lot into this, and they're investing a lot into it, and hopefully it can be a great occasion.
Not just a shirt, but more stuff than just the jersey?
Hopefully, yeah, and I'm sure the club will release that in the near future, and there'll be some great things on sale for them.
So the big question, I guess, for outsiders, you look at a team that won everything last year, and you would have been through this a number of times, getting up again for a new season, climbing Everest again when you've been to the top. Is that difficult?
I think when you obviously win the grand final off the back of the others as well, I think you have a period of just enjoying what you've done and reflecting on what's been such a great season, and then comes around to December and now this time of year, and you see all the hard work and the preparation, what's been put in from the players and the staff, and you start to build that desire and want from within the group who you want to win something again, and that's the feeling we're getting at the moment. We're looking forward to what 2025 has to offer, and there's a lot of opportunities for us there, but we'll take it pretty simple. We'll look at round 1 and build momentum off the back of that, I think.
Now, there's a bit of a feeling that this thing with Vegas is a toe in the water for the NRL and getting more involved in the Northern Hemisphere game. And obviously the game here has its challenges. Do players talk about that? I mean, and what do you think about the possibility of the NRL getting more involved in Super League or whatever might replace Super League,
I've never really spoke about it with anyone. If that was the case, then obviously that's above what I know. But I just involved being a part of the Super League and what the Super League has to offer. I think we have a great competition. We just have to keep promoting what we're doing and get our word out there. And if Vegas is being part of that and trying to promote our sport a little bit more, and that helps us, then so be it. And we don't know what the future brings, and hopefully it can be a successful future for us.
When you picture walking out onto Allegiant Stadium, is it a career highlight? I mean, how does it compare with finals, test matches and stuff like that? It's obviously a massive stadium, massive stage, big TV audience. How does it rank?
Yeah, I think I'd imagine it's going to have a feeling of some kind of cup final or a big game feeling, and it's something I'm looking forward to. Probably be one of the highlight stadiums I've played in, and something I'm really looking forward to, and taking the team over there, and there's a 17 going out over there on the pitch will be great, and I think the whole experience of being 4 games in one day will be a fun experience as well. So we're really looking forward to it, and something that I'm proud to be a part of myself, but the club as well. I think they're really looking forward to it.
Will you have to rehab and miss the 3rd and 4th games, or will you go back to the hotel, or will you sit around and watch the last 2 games? What would your preference be? I'd
like to sit and watch and see what's on and how the games go, and enjoy the experience more than anything. It's probably going to be a one-off, or obviously for us as a club, but hopefully we can get to enjoy the moment and enjoy what's to go on, and maybe a bit later into the night as well.